Hey, what's going on, family? As you can see, this is Amaha Z Tone Deaf, and I'm out here in nature. Well, yeah, so check me out, right? Look at all this beauty behind me. It's a beautiful scene, and there's so much going on. Yeah, I'm sorry that this video is gonna be so late, but it was because, I got my hair done today. You see it? Hey. I got my hair done today, and it just took an extra while to get it done, so it's all good. But let's get right into the thick of it, because I really want to talk about love. Love. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. Most people do not understand what love really is, right? So people have to understand that love is not just a feeling, it's energy, right? And since love is energy, it's not something that you can consider to be solid. What I mean by that is when people say they love, or they're falling in love, or there is love, or something like that, people talk about it like it's a finality, like something that they've done or that they're doing, right? But the fact of the matter is, since love is an energy, it's more or less a frequency, which is the same difference as energy. The frequency is fluid. It's like water, you know what I mean? When it comes down to water, water has the capability to take the shape of any and everything that it is within or what goes in it. So it can shape around something, it can shape within something, it can shape as it falls according to gravity. Water can shape, right? But in actuality, if you get into a river, you get into an ocean, any of that, the first thing you have to do is to learn to flow with the current. If you can't swim, first thing that happens is you look like a fish out of water. You are flapping around and jumping and everything and not being able to actually maintain your stance. You have to get in the water and you have to be able to coast within it kind of smoothly in order to stay afloat, right? So if that's the case then, and love is like water, it's kind of like the same difference. I call it fluid love. Fluid because it has fluidity, just like water, right? So when we're talking about fluid love, that means that there is no past, present, or future when it comes to love. That also means that there is no finality and really no beginning. It just is. So when people say that they fall in love, you can't fall in love nor fall out of love. Love just is. So it's either you're in line with the frequency of love or you're not. And when I talk about the frequency, it's about sync. And sync goes like this. It's like when you're dealing with Wi-Fi, right? And you have your Wi-Fi and you're connected, right? But then all of a sudden, something knocks the Wi-Fi out of its position. So therefore, you lose Wi-Fi for a while. It's frustrating for a lot of people because they get kicked off of things and so on and so forth. But that's because they're out of sync. But when you're connected to Wi-Fi and everything is cool and it flows so seamlessly, that means that you're in sync with the Wi-Fi, right? So that means that your connectivity is great. So that's exactly what's happening when it comes down to love. You have to stay in sync with it. And why I say that you have to stay in sync with it, because of the fact that when you're with someone and you feel like you're in love with them, right? And the love is so deep and it's so strong and it's so powerful, you're dealing with just emotion, right? Because of the fact that it's emotion that allows you to feel like you're falling. falling is a feeling. A feeling is an emotion, right? Whether you're falling in or falling out, it's still a feeling. So it's still an emotion, right? Okay, so if we're talking about emotion, motion, same difference, right? It's like this. Love is not something that we can put a whole stake on. You have to take love for what it is, which is the frequency that it already is. You have to get on love's level and vibe with love and let love flow with you like you flow in a current, right? But why we get out of sync with someone else, and this is falling out of love, is simply because of the fact that there's something imbalanced between the people, right? And without balance, there is no sync, there is no flow. So when you're dealing with the balance between two people, it's an equal give and take. It's an ebb and a flow, right? So when the ebb and the flow stops ebbing and flowing, it's not in sync. When that happens, you feel like you're falling out of love. So because of that, I feel like people really go at love the wrong way. The way we look at love is like you're building a house and it's a foundation and you can step on it. It's tangible. It's something that you can make and mold to whatever you want it to be, right? But in actuality, love still just is. If you want what they call in the Bible agape love, that's love with no consequences. That's love with no care. That is just unconditional love, right? If you want to know what that is, that means that you have to get on love's frequency and flow with love, right? This is exactly how, take out the other person, but this is exactly how we end up getting in sync with ourselves, right? And to get in sync with ourselves, we have to do this whole ebb and flow with ourselves. We have to actually look within and then vibrate on the frequency of where our higher selves, the greatest part of us, is. Because if we don't vibe on that frequency, we cannot do it. All right? So that is something that you really have to focus on when it comes down to love. Because of that frequency, right? If you can't get in frequency with yourself, you're out of sync. And if you're out of sync, you're out of touch. If you're out of touch, you don't receive the information that is needed for you to continue to ebb and flow. So we can go so deep on this subject, love, and believe me, I can and I will go deep. There are many more videos to come. This is only part one of a big multi-series, right? So I got a lot more to teach on this subject, but we're just gonna, let it be. I don't want to really put videos out here anymore that are really long, because I realize people do not have time to sit down and watch a 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minute video, or even an hour, for God's sakes. People don't have time for that. Time is limited. So this is what we're gonna do. So this is your girl Amahazi Tone Deaf, and I'm here on the lakefront saying peace, prosperity, positivity, health, and love to you all. Deuces.